felt like it was appendicitis. When I touched there and pushed there, he said, you'd be squirming. And there was no pain at that particular moment. I was having cold sweats and stuff nights before that. A lot of just weird things going on, but it didn't hurt when he pushed right there. Went to church, when we put in the parking lot. I'm like, oh man, baby, this like something hurts bad. And then went home, and I ended up having to lay on the floor. And my daughter was there, the oldest one. She's like, Dad, you need to go to the hospital. Like, I've never seen you like this. Priscilla, I remember at one point she came outside and it's like, what are you doing? I was just standing in the garage. Like, I can't get comfortable. I want to do something. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So we went shopping, grocery shopping. I rode with her. And we come back, and I just lay on the floor, hard floor. It was like the only thing that I could get comfortable. And I don't know, maybe 20 minutes into that, I think is when it ruptured. Appendix tumor, whatever it was, ruptured. I felt that.
This is the Elevation Room, a space where we unpack life's hardest moments and the impact that they have on our faith, family, and fulfillment. I'm your host, Dustin Lale, and each episode we share real stories of resilience and breakthrough to inspire you to keep moving forward, rooted in your purpose, living on purpose, and walking with purpose. This journey we call life is not meant to be done alone. So click subscribe or the follow button now, settle in, and join us as we go into the Elevation Room. Welcome back to the Elevation Room. Today, I have a good friend, Chad Bellelo, husband, father, business owner. Welcome to the Elevation Room.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, man.
Me.
I'd love for you to introduce to the audience a little bit of who you are.
Yep. Chad Bellelo, owner of United Fencing out in Brobridge, husband to a beautiful wife, Priscilla.
Extra points for that one.
Yes, of course. Very talented, beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Godly. 5 kids, 4 girls, a boy right there in the middle.
5's a number of grace,
Yeah. And she once told me that after 3, she was told that it was, it didn't really matter.
That's
it was
right.
kind of all the same. And I never knew it was a buy 3, get 2 free kind of deal. And, so, I definitely bring that up to her to remind her that they all.
That's what I tell Bethany right now. We're at 3. I'm like, hey, after this point, it's all the same going forward.
It's not. It's not.
I'll have to cut that out so she doesn't hear that.
Yes, it's not. But the more the better. To keep it interesting.
There you go. There you go.
Hence the reason I got to work so much.
There you go. There you go. What's the age range, oldest to youngest?
7. And then from there, it goes from 14 to 18, with them all being about a year and a half apart.
Yeah, y'all stay busy, no doubt.
Very.
That's awesome. And how long have you and Priscilla been married now?
10 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fact check.
Yes. 10 years. And we'll kind of say later why we didn't get that 10-year anniversary we're supposed to have through my second testimony that we'll go over.
Okay. Well, that's
but
exciting.
It's coming.
Yeah,
if she's listening, it's coming.
There you go. So y'all got house full.
Yeah.
Staying busy.
Yeah.
Obviously working hard, keeping the business going. Y'all in a great spot. Y'all are building close to us here pretty soon, so we're excited for that.
Yes. Just met with the architect last week.
Awesome.
Just real quick. This is a little praise report on that. 1.5 years ago, I was wondering why we built, thought it was a big mess up. The story, where we were then. We'll get to that later. But so that is incredible. Praise God.
That's awesome.
For what we're about to do there.
Yeah. It's come a long way, man. Come a long way.
Yeah, just to be sitting here.
That's right. That's right. And so, you are sitting here. You've got a lot of story to share, which I'm excited for everyone to hear. But, if you don't mind going back, where did it all start?
Yeah, man. So I was born and raised in Maringouin, Louisiana, Mosquito Town for those who don't know.
I have passed through it once or twice.
Yes. Very quick passing.
Yes, it was.
But, raised, I guess, normal, down south type home, work hard, great morals, just taught the basic stuff of, be a good person, do good, work hard. Nobody's going to give you nothing. Um, give everything your all, no matter what it is that you're doing. My mom and dad are two of the hardest workers that I've ever known. And even still today in their 60s,
Oh, yeah.
they get it done. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And we'll give the shirt off their back to anybody, anytime. So that's kind of how I was raised, in and out of church. I say in and out. We didn't go every Sunday and went to a Catholic school, but we were there for the most part. So, I guess I just say basic upbringing, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Played some sports. Was a good kid,
Yeah.
didn't do anything crazy. Went to college here at UL.
Okay.
One of my dad's biggest fears was me getting on drugs and just living that whole college life. He figured if you work all the time, then
You don't have time for anything else, all right?
he'd keep you out of trouble then. But going back to high school right quick, when my senior year, we would have so one time we had homecoming. It was that was must have been a Saturday. And he made me work all day up until like right before homecoming to keep me out of trouble.
Oh, okay.
Well, rushing to get to the party and whatnot, I totaled my truck.
Uh-oh.
Week and a half later on what they call Holy Thursday, the Thursday before Easter Sunday, worked me. Everybody was partying on the river. Me playing catch up, get out there, I totaled a jet ski, broke my jaw, graduated my mouth wired shut.
My mouth wide shut.
Yeah, that's how I graduated high school.
Goodness.
So, got another ticket for a Mardi Gras event. He worked me then, got there late, had to play catch up. So that theory didn't work so well. Still got in all the trouble.
Oh, man. Found a way, huh?
Yeah. But he did definitely teach me how to work, and that 100% has paid off. So much respect to him for instilling that in me.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't care for it as much then.
Well, there's something I look back and, Dad's trying to teach me one thing and I'm like, oh, no, I know much better than that. And you look back now, like, I should have just listened. Should have just listened.
A lot easier, but some of us learn better by doing, failing, picking back up, getting a little I told you so.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
Going from there.
That's right.
I used to play after football. Me and my buddies, our parents all worked for themselves, so we could work at younger ages. And so after film Saturday mornings, I always had to go to work all day. And I used to take this job and shove it when I was pulling in the parking lot real loud, and just had to get that out.
Yeah. Just so we all know where I stand.
Just so everybody knows I don't want to be here. All my other friends are going to rest, after the game and getting up early for film and stuff, and I'm going to work.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Always had money, so
yeah. And
that
then
was good.
You went off to UL, and
then I went to UL.
Kind of had a little more freedom, maybe.
Yep, more freedom. Did great my first 2 years.
Okay.
I did drink often.
Okay.
But I went to class. I remember making note cards as on Fridays I would have to go back to my dad's business in New Roads.
Okay.
And work Friday, Saturday. And I remember reading over note cards while delivering furniture and whatnot. And
studious then, huh?
Yes, really good.
There you
I
go.
had my best GPA like my first year there.
Okay.
And then 2 years into it, I was 20.
Okay.
The drinking led to saying yes to drugs. After passing it up, just a couple hits of marijuana. In my body, my mind, chemical balance, whatever you want to call it, it's that go hard or go home. That don't work good when you're on drugs. So with that, I went hard for about 8.5 years.
Wow.
It didn't, it started slower, but it built into a everyday marijuana. And then when that didn't, because I like more of the upper. So when the marijuana stopped getting me amped up, then I started with the pain pills.
Mm.
By the time I was on the pain pills, I had graduated, barely made it. Do have the piece of paper on the wall that says I made it.
There you go.
But I completely changed who I was, and all the morals, everything just slowly kind of fade out. And so I would say probably 2 more years after I started is when I graduated. And then probably right about that time, it started to get to closer to everyday use. I was doing fences with some friends that I had went to high school with and that were at college. Their brothers had started it. And so we picked it up when they left, just doing it on the side. And so when it got closer to the end of my college career, I was kind of asked, like, what I was going to do. And I was just doing drugs and making it for the last couple of years. So I really didn't even think about it. And somebody had said, or maybe a couple of people, why don't you just keep doing the fences? So I did that. And business was good and I did good work. But the guys that I was using were from a bad place as well. So I'd moved back to Ventress, which is closer to St. Francisville.
Okay.
Past Maringouin. Got married to the girl I was with for, at that point, 7 years.
Did y'all meet before
We
college?
met in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, we had started dating my junior year.
So whenever, like, you were at UL, starting, drinking and getting into drugs, like I said, with marijuana first and then moving on to the pain pills.
Pain pills.
You were still going back home Friday, Saturdays, or did that kind of...
Yeah. Only one summer I stayed here and worked with somebody in construction.
Okay. So did like the family start noticing a change? Were they asking questions, or you were able to keep it under wraps?
I hit it. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of my friends knew, some that I, were doing the drugs with.
Okay.
My closest friend, he was about the only person I wouldn't do it around.
Okay.
Guess out of respect for him, and for one, I didn't want him to know the place that I was going.
Okay. How come?
As
Just
a
because
let down.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we were like that growing up, and always against that. Which kind of like a South Louisiana thing too. Drinking is cool, and you can get drunk.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe not daily, but pretty often, and it'd be all right. But you start doing drugs, then you're kind of that outcast.
Gotcha. So nobody really was able to pick up on it, ask questions,
Nobody. It was years before anybody knew. When it got to be now my wife at that time, so we got married, I would say a year after I graduated.
Okay.
Graduated in 2008. I'm bad with dates, so I may mess some of those up on here. We got married in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
And I was pretty good and addicted by then.
Okay. Did she know?
She had found a couple things. I remember her finding a joint in college while I was there. So she went to Aveda Hair School,
okay,
cosmetology school, and then she worked up here for, I'm not exactly sure how long. So she lived in an apartment not far from me for a while. So we saw each other often then. And then she had moved back. We didn't see each other as much. It's more like weekends, or she would come up here, something like that. But I remember her finding that joint and just thinking, it's kind of just a college, just try it. Of course she didn't like it. But
didn't realize
where I was going with it. And I remember she threw it away, and when she left later on, I went and got it out.
Oh, wow.
And you almost do it to calm your nerves.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to be that drug addict dependent on it like that. But it's like, you do that, you take that hit or whatever, because you're all nervous because you got caught and ashamed and everything else. And then you take that hit and it's like that all goes away. You feel okay then.
Yeah.
Kind of how the whole drug thing works. And I tell people all the time, nobody wants to be a drug addict, depending on that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but once you're in it, it's a demon. Man, I don't know numbers and all that, but I can guarantee you most people don't kick it.
Mm. That's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah. So, and then she found different things over time. You know, it got to where she was like a detective once we were married and I was in it, and she knew, you know, she had found a little bit more to know, like, all right, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Most of it she kept to herself. We had a few come to Jesus meetings when I would pull up to my house and I knew if these certain vehicles were there, they found something, you know, and then, I mean, you just deny it until you can't deny it anymore.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you just
Yeah.
have
So
nothing to say.
behaviorally, you were able to keep things kind of in check, or at
The
least.
stealing is what got me caught all the time.
Okay.
Stealing, because
How'd that?
eventually you get to a point where you can't afford all the drugs.
Okay.
You know, I could take, now I was hooked on lower tabs, pain medicine. I did a lot of things like once or twice,
Okay.
but at that point, or at one point, I knew I was hooked on those, and I was too scared to try a lot of these bigger things because I knew I was already in a bad spot. And it's like I could say no to those, but I still couldn't kick this habit.
Were you trying? Like every once in a while, would you try, or just not really?
I didn't want to do the drugs,
Yeah.
but like trying to so my trying was going to church. So I grew up Catholic. Everybody I know, you know, from
Yeah.
my area is Catholic. And then we were told about Healing Place Church. It was a New Beginnings program
Okay.
on Friday nights. And somebody told my ex-mother-in-law at the time about it. And this was after things had kind of went on, and, you know, a few close people knew that things were going on, you know.
Gotcha.
So we started going there, and I wanted to go. I wanted to get healed, but I wanted it to just, boom, just happen. Because you couldn't take, and once you get in it and you're dependent on it, you got to fight. You got to fight for a while to get that feeling, to get to where you can move and function without it. You know, so I was many altar calls once I got in the non-denominational church.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time going to one of those services, and you see people up there, mostly like ex-addicts and people who just really been through the ringer. First time I seen people with their hands lifted, I was like, man, this is legit. Like, you know, really praising God, you know, not just keeping it in. And,
That's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
'cause that's how I grew up. I never seen anybody raise their hands.
Yeah.
And so I was into it from the beginning. Many altar calls. I walked up there and tried to get that healing, boohoo, sobbing.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. You know, and I know people that it just, boom, instantly just took it away. I know people who were in jail and just some of the worst of the worst, and they had that moment where their whole life changed right there on the spot, never touched it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that for me.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Me neither. So
Yeah. So for me, it was once things really got bad and people found out, I went to outpatient AA based 7-week program.
Did that come after like the stealing and everything else?
Yeah.
Kind of started
That's
devolving.
when so basically with the drugs, I mean, you get on it, you slowly increase, then you got to start stealing. I think that's where I was going a minute ago.
Yeah.
That's how you start getting caught. I mean, I was taken from my little girl. So we had a little girl. She's about to be 15 now, but 1 year, on our 1 year honeymoon, got pregnant. So, you know, right at 2 years into the marriage, we had a little girl. And I thought that, you know, of course, when she comes, I ain't going to do this anymore. Man, I brought drugs with me to the hospital.
Really?
And then when I ran out, started having the withdrawals just in those couple days. Couldn't wait to get home. That's just, you know, and right before she was coming, like I just said, I just thought that God was going to take it away.
Mm-hmm.
No, of course, can't. I won't even want to do it anymore. Well, that's a lie.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, we had the little girl, and I think what I was getting at is I've stole from her piggy bank, and you still thinking that you're going to put it back like the next day or whatever, and then you need more drugs, so you go back and you get some more. So my wife at that time, she saw that. She would come home with a bank bag every day from her work. She worked for herself, cosmetology.
Okay.
I would steal from her tips sometimes. She wasn't dumb. She knew what was going on. Sad to say, but at one point or several times, she drug tested me.
Mm.
It's not good when your wife's having a drug test you.
Yeah, yeah.
Hadn't had anybody even attempt to drug test me since I've been really sober. It's
yeah.
Nobody wants me to go to the bathroom now.
I can do it just so you can get that satisfaction,
Yeah. So those were always nerve-wracking. But so I got caught from several different things and kind of had another one of those come to Jesus meetings. All right, we need to do something.
Yeah.
And I agreed to go to the outpatient thing. Did that. Went to the meetings. Family would come to the meetings. We'd do these circles, tell you everything that they didn't like that you were doing. And I remember you had to sit on your hands.
Oh,
and
really?
Get in the middle of the circle. That was so you didn't try to slap or hit nobody if they told you stuff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was a military guy who was my counselor, ex-military. So that was one of his. He would put you closer than we are, but he'd make you sit on your hands.
Oh, wow.
Give him time to see if you're going to react.
See if you're going to make a move,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah. I was never, and my ex-wife will say that I was never violent. We got divorced solely because of my drug addiction. But we went through that, and 2 weeks into that 7-week program, I was using it again because I knew the system and when they would test.
Oh, wow.
Still did everything, graduated, but I knew the system. That was in April. Made it through that. Go back, I never stopped really.
Yeah.
2 weeks. And those 2 weeks started, I was doing construction while I was going through that. And, kind of how I was raised, you work hard and you crack a beer at the end of the day. Well, we cracked a few beers. I wasn't supposed to be drinking anyway. And then before I got home on that 40-minute ride, I had already lined up some pain pills. That's just with the beer, go from one to the next real quick.
Wow. It's almost like some self-help calls it habit stacking in a positive way, but it's almost like habit stacking in a negative way. Like, hey, do this, then that, beer, then pill, beer, then pill.
It's coming. That's why people, I got asked at a customer's house yesterday if I wanted some wine. He was pouring him a glass.
Yeah.
His exact words were, "You want to hit?" No, been 12 years. I'm good. I said, "You mess up my streak."
Yeah.
And then, of course, he started apologizing. I was like, "It's all good," but that's big here.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
The drinking.
It's part of the culture.
Yeah. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That was in April. Next April. April was a bad time for me.
Oh, okay.
So I got back into the same cycle. That time, broke into somebody's house again, got caught. My best friend shows up at work to kind of call me out on it. Talk to me. My brother shows up, and we talk it out. And I go to my mom's house. Wasn't really welcome back at my house, for screwing up again. So I go to my mom's house, and we kind of figure out I need some help, something a little longer. So that year, I go into Home of Grace, which is a Christian faith-based 3-month program.
Okay.
Go through that whole process. First 2.
Is it inpatient?
That one's inpatient.
Okay.
Yeah, for 3 months you're there, Mississippi. The first, I would say, month, I was miserable. I don't even smoke, and I smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Oh, really?
That you could do it over there at that time. I don't know if you can now. Nerves were shot. I didn't get out of my room for the first week. They finally made me get out. Sometimes they'll give you a little detox room.
Okay.
But they were like, all right, you got to come out now.
Time to see some sunshine, huh? Yeah.
So went through that when, started participating, started getting my head right. And 2 weeks before I left there, I told my counselor, I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. But I said, something's telling me it's not over yet.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, you're good. It's nerves, and everybody's just nervous about going back out. I'm like, okay. Renewed my vows for my graduation. It was a big deal.
What
Getting
vows?
get my wedding vows
Oh, with your wife.
with my wife at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So she came. There was a big ceremony. Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Not a whole wedding thing.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot more people involved than, just being about me. But we
Mhm.
did vow renewal.
Okay.
Me and her kind of get that fresh start,
Yeah.
3 days after I got out, back into the same thing.
Why? Or what happened, I guess is a better question. Because at that time, you're detoxed, right? You're 3 months. Was
Yeah.
it environment? And so it kind of, the thought
A
patterns.
lot of
or-
it is that, and I didn't really have a plan.
Okay.
I went home. I was home with my wife at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and she went to work, so I was just like home for a couple of days.
Gotcha.
That old mind goes to racing. Don't know what to do. Didn't really. I guess that's where having a set plan comes in. But
Gotcha.
that, and I think moving back to the same exact thing, nothing changed really.
Okay.
I had changed some. I
Yeah.
detoxed really,
Yeah.
and I got a lot of seeds planted.
Yeah. Now, what were you doing for work at the time? Was it working for someone in construction, or you didn't have a job
So-
anymore? So that's why you got home and you're like, I don't really know what to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I got fired right before I went
Okay.
to that rehab because I'd actually stole from my manager of the company.
Okay.
And he found out like right before I left. So
Gotcha.
on my way to the rehab, I had to go and like admit to him that I did it, because I knew him.
Yeah.
I only really stole from people that I knew.
Gotcha.
Less chance to get shot, I guess.
I
like
guess.
that.
I guess.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I started screwing up, and like I told my counselor, I felt like it wasn't done. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
felt like it wasn't done.
Yeah. And when you got home, 3 days, were you thinking, well, I don't have anything to do? Like you went straight to back to pills, or was it, well, I'm just bored. Let me go buy some beer.
No, I stole from somebody I knew before.
Okay.
So I mean, when you're in it, you
Yeah.
kind of know if people are going through surgeries or whatever, people that you know. So I
Gotcha.
knew most people don't finish, most
Yeah.
average people don't finish their whole
Prescription.
script, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of,
Yeah.
you figure that part out, unfortunately.
Yeah. I hear you.
From there, it was the same
Cycle.
process.
Yeah.
Got caught again going into somebody's house, breaking in their house. They were actually home sleeping, kind of figured out the whole thing. And that was another April.
Okay. Wow.
3 Aprils back to back.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So with that one, the cops actually got called for the first time.
Okay.
The
Blue light
girl
special.
who lived there worked on side of my wife at the time.
Okay.
And they both they rent it from somebody, but work for themselves in cosmetology. So she knew everything that happened for the last year. She's like, all right, somebody got to do something. He hasn't really gotten in any trouble yet. So being from a small town, I was able to go and turn myself in instead of like getting arrested.
Okay.
Name comes up, people start calling you parents. Hey, cops start calling them, and so kind of how that went down. But and at that point, my mom's like, lock him up.
Yeah.
Do whatever. She was kind of done. So I had to go turn myself in. Sat in a cell for a few hours.
Okay.
Then the judge comes on like a screen, a TV. I never been to jail. I didn't know how none of that works. That was the only time I went, praise God.
Okay.
Lasted about 3 hours and I was out. But yeah, he comes on and his first thing, so small town thing again. I went to school with his son, played football with his son. He was a judge for umpteen years, you know. So it's like, you're still fighting them monkeys, huh? Got the monkeys on your back is what he said. Yes, sir. So he gave me a little speech, you know, and for years I listened to K-Love before that.
Okay.
Heard about Teen Challenge. And I knew it was a 1-year program. And most people, especially myself, but after talking to people in these rehabs, you figure out nobody wants to go for a year on their first run at it. You know, everybody wants a quicker fix.
Gotcha.
But I knew, and my mom told me, I think it was either before or after, before I turned myself in or when I came back, because of course I wasn't allowed back in my house at that time, screwing up again. She's like, you got 2 weeks to figure it out. I don't know what was going to happen after that 2 weeks, but I don't believe I was staying there.
Yeah.
So, you know, at this point, this was the first time that I actually was like, all right, enough's enough. I did the research, you know, all the times of hearing about K-Love, clicked back in. So I looked up Teen Challenge, did all the research, said, all right, here we go. Called the intern office or whatever. New Orleans, set up an interview, went over there, and I was all in.
So you initiated it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, as I understand it, get referred into it or mandated into it. Is that accurate or no?
Yeah. So the first 2 that I went to was kind of like I just agreed with my parents and my wife to go. Okay. They did everything.
So it wasn't like the judge said, hey, you've got either X amount of jail time or you can go to Teen Challenge.
Yeah, I told them before, and again, this kind of the small town helps out with some of that, knowing everybody, that what I had planned on doing.
Okay.
And they're like, well, you're not going to get help that you need here.
Yeah.
You know, most people learn worse things in jail than they do.
Gotcha.
You know,
yeah,
that's just how it works. And I'll never forget what the warden told me. I went and, of course, had to talk to him for a while. And he said that in all his years, it was like 19 years or something. He said, I've never seen anybody get sober and stay sober without God. And he even said, I don't know what it is, 'cause I'm not sure if it was his thing 100%. But he said he has never seen anybody get sober and stay sober and not return to that prison unless they had God.
And that resonated with you.
Or as a huge part, you know, at least working toward it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I won't forget that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first time I'd heard somebody talk like that, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I was going.
Yep.
You know, that was my plan. So they pretty much like, all right, if you go and get help, go. This is your first offense. You've never did anything besides, you know, maybe a speeding ticket, 1 or 2.
Yeah. Nothing was on the books. So.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Clean. So, yeah, we set it up, and I don't even know. That was on my mom's birthday when I did all of this the last time. So that's kind of like my easy to remember my sober date. And good and bad day, you know. But every year that I'm sober, that's a great birthday present for my mom, you know?
There you go.
So, and now we're going on, we're about 12 and a half. May 3rd will be 13 years.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you went to Teen Challenge, and I mean, what is the interview process like? Hey, do you need help or not? You know, like, is that?
It ain't much. It's like, yeah, and it was rough. You know, New Orleans had made some changes since then.
Okay.
But the place was run down. It was beat up. The guy who took us in had like a couple teeth. It was rough.
Yeah.
You know, my parents weren't excited about me staying there.
Okay. Wow.
It wasn't one of these fancy rehabs for sure. It's a faith-based, basically free. You know, we had some money, so we were able to pay for like a blood work and a little, I think it was like $750 if you can afford it, but they won't turn you down if you can't.
Gotcha.
So, you know, you it's a free place, so you're not getting massages and coffees, you know, at the Malibu or whatever.
So what was that process like then? You know, because at this point you're 8 years into this cycle. You've tried a couple of times, been to outpatient, been to inpatient, found yourself returning. What was it like at Teen Challenge, through that year?
Um,
And were you
started.
still with your wife when you went in?
She came to drop me off,
Okay.
and she had told me right before then, you get caught, it's over.
Okay.
She had said that before, and her
Gotcha.
mom told us one time we didn't do split very well. Like
Gotcha.
as long as we were close by each other, because we would, sometimes I would have to go stay at my parents, and we would end up,
Yeah.
um, getting back with each other. I'll never forget that. Y'all don't do split very well.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks into it, I get the divorce papers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was a bummer. That was hard. We had been together for like 12 years at that point.
Yeah.
And that was terrible, at that time. And so, and the next testimony kind of started. I had ulcerative colitis the same year that I started doing drugs.
Okay.
The same summer, I got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis.
Really?
Now, supposedly it has nothing to do with each other, but that's when it started.
Yeah.
So my flare-ups and stress and everything would flare that up. So when I first went to Teen Challenge, it was bad. Like bad enough where I would be in bed for like weeks. There was, I think, one point where I was kind of like bedridden almost, just constantly in the bathroom.
Really?
My parents had to send Ensure and Boost drinks, couldn't eat.
Wow.
Went to the hospital a couple times. My dad even called. You get very limited phone calls, but he's like, "Once you come home, we go get this taken care of. Bring you back in a couple weeks or whatever." I was like, "No, I can't go home, Dad. I already know what's gonna happen." So that's kind of when I knew I needed to be there, because if that would have been the first rehab, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm out. Come
Yeah.
get me."
Yeah.
So that extremely bad health, plus the divorce, for months, that's all I focused on. I would get up in the middle of the night and go use the phone to try to call my ex-wife.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes she would answer, sometimes she wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get that divorce not to go through.
Yeah.
So while I'm there, it's a 1-year program. It was like 9 months into it. She asked me, because I would call to talk to my daughter with her, but still trying to be, trying to not let that marriage go through or the divorce go through. And she asked me what my plans were when I got out. 'Cause I was 9 months in, so I had like 3 months left. Kind of should have a little bit of a plan. Haven't even thought about it. Just been trying to stop that divorce mainly. And so after that, it's like, after that conversation, like, all right, I really got to focus on me, because if I don't, and I don't change anything about me, and I don't focus on me while I'm here, then this whole thing was pointless. All I'm doing is not doing drugs for 9 months.
Right.
But I'm not changing anything.
Yeah.
Right around that same time, within a week or so, I just put this on Facebook the other day. A couple comes in. We would have service Wednesday, Friday, and that would usually be from like outsourced. Sunday, we would either go somewhere, or one of the leaders would do a service at Teen Challenge. But whatever it was, that Wednesday or Friday night, a couple came from here and gave their testimony. And the key thing there that was kind of a turning point was she was talking about how early on, before she was married, before she had anybody, she was praying for her husband, future husband. At that time, the guy she was married to that was there that night, he was on drugs. He was in like a motorcycle club, like pretty bad off. And then they go through their whole story, how they got to where they are now. But it started with her like praying for her husband. So I was like, okay. After that service, they did an altar call. I went up, got on my hands and knees for, I don't know, 100th time at that point, and started praying for my future wife and life in general, and what was going to happen after Teen Challenge, but mainly for my wife. And I just sobbed and sobbed, and then when I got up, that weight that people talk about is lifted off, and that peace that surpasses all understanding that you can't explain. You know, you just know when you feel it. You know,
Yeah.
um, all that took place right there,
Oh, wow.
and um, two weekends ago, that woman and my wife now were singing on the same stage.
Really?
I didn't know Crossroads. I didn't know my wife. I didn't know that lady, and they were all in the same
Oh,
building,
wow.
3.5 hours away from where we were then.
That's amazing.
That's
awesome.
incredible. Yeah.
That is
So
awesome.
I took a picture of my wife last weekend, maybe the weekend before, but and then realized she was on the piano in the back right there, and you know, brought everything back, and
Yeah.
just
Wow.
chills how God, you know, maybe not whenever we want it.
Yeah.
You know, his timing's a little different.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time, but like looking back, like,
Yeah.
I mean, who would
Yeah.
have thought that? Like,
Yeah. You can't plan that kind of stuff.
man,
Yeah. So what did you when you finished Teen Challenge, when you went that next 3 months, were you done? Everything was finished. You had beat
that's
the addiction,
yeah,
and you were set free from that.
yes. So I started focusing on me.
Yeah.
You know, forget about everything else. If
Yeah.
I don't get right, then you know it's going to go back to the same
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, I mean, I got out, still didn't really have a well, no,
I was going to
take
ask if
that
you had a
back.
plan at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, I
Yeah.
take it back because I'm trying to save a little bit of this answer for later.
Mm,
But I did an internship,
okay.
and so with that, it gives you a little more responsibility, a little more freedom instead of just throwing you right back in.
Okay.
And then that was an internship for like 6 months, and then after that, I even stayed on as staff
Okay.
for like 3.5 months.
Okay. So almost 2
Um,
years you were there.
yeah, I was there for I think a month shy of 2 years
Okay.
total,
Awesome.
and then we go
Yeah.
into the world, and scary, but I know
Was it?
I had some friends and family, and definitely my mom was scared.
Yeah.
I just started putting in job applications, and nowadays you don't really get to talk to people. You know, you got to do it online, and when you got a couple rehab gaps, you know, like how do you fill those in? So it's like, I need to talk to you and
Yeah.
explain myself.
Yeah. 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 Let me explain something to you.
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew how to do fences. I knew how to work. So eventually I just picked that back up. And then Priscilla, my wife now, we were dating at the time. She's like, well, put it on Facebook or whatever. And boom, Crossroads Church, the first couple that, you know, let me do
Yeah.
work for them. And man, we started the fences, and it took a while to get back going. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, just about every person, even the two people who fired me at two different jobs, I've done work for all of them.
Mm.
All of them. We just 2 weeks ago, me, two other Teen Challenge graduates that work for me went to a prison to put up fencing.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah. That's awesome.
that's wild. That's
Yeah.
God.
That's awesome.
You know, and it makes me smile just
Yeah.
doing that. It's like, you know,
It's
smile and
redemption,
like,
baby. That's
yeah, and then like smile and kick at the devil, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, look at me now.
That's awesome.
You know,
That's awesome. So, whenever you look at that 8 year period, looking back, you know, looking at the year it took, or the 2 years almost, you know, through Teen Challenge, what are some things you pull back from that season that, you know, still affect the way you do things today, you know, and how you go about your business day to day?
Well, I wore this shirt for a reason,
Yeah.
because it kind of explains me and how I live day to day.
Yeah.
Really, it's real simple. Work hard, pray hard. You know, my saying was usually pray and put out.
Okay.
You know, I don't think you can just do either one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can put out all you want yourself. I did that for a long time, and nothing
Yeah.
changed. You know,
Yeah.
trying to beat that addiction, couldn't do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same time, praying without works is
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Faith without works.
yeah.
That's right.
You gotta have both.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me is, you know, work ethic is my gift. You know,
Yeah.
my wife, she can sing.
Yeah.
I'm just like overall big gifts, but I say for me and for my body, unfortunately, work ethic, that comes super easy to me.
Yeah.
And I think I told this to a lot of guys going through the programs, like, this is your time to be selfish. Like, don't worry about nobody else in here. Be selfish, because if you aren't right yourself, then you can't give to the people that need it. So, like, if my mind is not right, if my body and everything isn't right, I can't give to my wife and my kids like I need to.
Yeah.
So, not selfish, in a bad way.
Yeah.
But you have to be right so you can fully give, to the ones who need you.
Yeah. I hear you. I'm curious to know, because you had mentioned, like with Priscilla, y'all put out, hey, looking for jobs. So when did y'all meet in that season, or after that season, I guess? How long was that spread?
I was in Teen Challenge.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you got to unpack that a little bit there. You got to unpack that.
Give you a little bit. 'Cause that's pretty important in our testimony. I met her, so I worked at the one in Lafayette.
Okay, so this was like your internship.
This is my internship.
Okay.
Yeah. Go there, and they go to Crossroads. You see the guys out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
They're the guys who do all that, and they do a lot of work behind the scenes. I was the work detail supervisor.
Okay.
And so I would line all the guys up that would go to Crossroads. We were sending guys over there like every week. I mean, not every week, every day.
Okay.
Back then. That's where Priscilla sings at. And she was singing a lot then, which she's doing that now as well. But they had the Wednesday services every Wednesday.
Okay.
3 services on Sunday sometimes. So
oh, wow.
we would, I actually tried to get her hooked up with a friend of mine.
Oh,
who was
really?
an intern as well. I was always, and we laugh about this, I was always a dark-skinned brunette kind of person.
Okay.
She's neither of those. When I prayed for what I wanted in a wife, at one point during that prayer, when I was on my knees, I was praying for what I wanted, and then I had to switch it and let God have his way. So, so now we laugh about it. But so then, it got to where after whatever with him, I got attracted to her.
Okay.
And I had all the guys in Teen Challenge knew it. So we would walk in, and if they were in front of me and open them doors up at rehearsal, because we'd get there early, she's up there, she's singing today.
So they could just see it all over you, huh?
All over.
Oh,
my family knew. I had people, because I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I was in Teen Challenge, and I was an intern. You get nothing. And then even as staff, I was getting like, $75 a week once I got to staff level. So my family knew, everybody knew.
That is
except
so
for
funny.
her. She didn't know. I was stalking her. And I went on for like months.
That is so funny.
I didn't know how to talk to nobody. I'd been with the same person for 12 years before that. And I knew her from 4th grade. So that wasn't my thing. So, and then I did try to talk to her, tried to buy her coffee one time, and she basically ran from me.
Okay.
So that didn't work. Next time I saw her was when they would do like Fall Fest, I think. Is that they would do it out in the parking lot.
Okay.
I think that's what it was called. It was in October instead of the Halloween thing. We saw her over there. And so I got the director at Teen Challenge, his wife. She was real chatty, kind of.
Intermediate, huh?
Yeah. That didn't work. That was 2 strikes.
Oh, no.
And then she was singing at another church that we would also go to on Sunday evenings. And she happened to be there. Like, all right, I'm going to talk to her after this one. She left like halfway during the service. She had these kids. She had 3 kids before.
Okay.
One of them got sick. This just ain't meant to be. This ain't meant to be at all. That's 3 strikes.
That's
so
3 strikes.
Right. I ended up, one of the people that worked at Crossroads who I would deal with, sending the guys there. I messaged her. I'm like, hey, can you give me her number so I can just message her? And she was real hesitant about it. It took her maybe like a couple days to say, see if that was okay or not.
Yeah.
And she finally did. And I guess my text game was on point.
My text game.
It's a lot easier in a text than in person.
That's right.
She couldn't resist after that.
That is hilarious.
And so, yeah, we started talking after that and went to the gathering.
Okay.
Where all the worship leaders and stuff have a big worship night. I saw her over there. Took her out in the Teen Challenge truck.
Nice.
Shine that thing up real
there you
good
go.
before we went. And then, man, we went on a couple more dates. Not as classy because it was in a Teen Challenge 15-passenger van.
Okay. Couldn't get the truck, huh?
No. Drive down the interstate holding the door. Wouldn't close all the way.
Oh.
Hold the door closed, driving like this. Picked her up. The thing killed on me a couple times,
Yeah.
Undoubtedly didn't bother her a whole bunch, and
Yeah.
that's all I had. So
That's it.
That's
it. Well, you knew she wasn't after you for money or nothing at that point, right?
I was still in rehab. I was staff, but I was still living. I didn't have anything, and so she had went to into a lot of prayer and some counseling, I guess, mentors that she had talked to, and kind of because she was somewhat talking to somebody else at the time.
Okay.
And I think she was told that she was going to have to like pick and, kind of in that vision that this person had, kind of told her which route to go. So she picked me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, we moved quick as far as getting married, and
Okay.
we've both been married before. We kind of,
Yeah.
And we wanted to do the right thing. I'm not going to say we always were doing the right thing, but we wanted to.
Yeah.
We got convicted. She got convicted more. And
helped you get straightened out then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's one thing I prayed for. I wanted a godly woman, maybe a little more mature, a little more, definitely spiritually. That was the big thing that I prayed for, and definitely scored big on
that's
that.
awesome.
Because she still keeps me grounded today. Sometimes, what did you pray about it? And let's pray about it. I was like, I don't want to right now. Like, give me a few more minutes in the flesh.
Yeah.
And then we'll pray about it.
Yeah.
But
I've said that before too, so don't feel bad about that. Yeah.
She keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's awesome. And then y'all met, married, and then life's been perfect ever since, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Marriage-wise, yeah. With business growing, thriving.
But y'all recently come out of another pretty major challenging season.
So, testimony 1, 12 and a half years sober.
Yep. Praise God.
Kicked addiction's butt.
Yeah.
Beat the devil on that one. Testimony 2 came August before last.
Okay.
And so to go, how that started was different pains and whatnot in the stomach, in the back as well. It was just kind of 1 minute stomach, next minute back, worse at night. But I had dealt at that point with ulcerative colitis for almost 20 years, right at 20 years. So I always had things that weren't feeling right. Would tell Priscilla here and there, if it was bad, and we kind of talk about it. And it went on for a while. And then finally I'm like, look, this ain't the same thing. I think we need to check it out. So I called my UC doctor, and we just scheduled a CAT scan. Got that looked at. Did like 3 of them, and then met with the surgeon. Got him to look at it. That was a Thursday. And he said, man, it's a bunch of inflammation around the appendix area. But he's like, and he touched all on it. He's like, if I felt like it was appendicitis, when I touched there and pushed there, he said, you'd be squirming. And there was no pain at that particular moment. I was having cold sweats and stuff nights before that. A lot of just weird things going on, but it didn't hurt when he pushed right there. And so he's like, really don't want to just operate or do anything crazy if we don't need to. So he got with the UC doctor, and they scheduled a colonoscopy to go in and see maybe if it was something with the ulcerative colitis. So that was a Thursday. Sunday, got up, worked out, got dressed, went to church, and we put in the parking lot. I'm like, oh man, babe, this like something hurts bad.
Mm.
We sat in service for a little while, and then man, maybe a few minutes after worship, when I tried to sit, I couldn't sit. It was worse. So I told Priscilla, and she's like, well, we'll just go stand up kind of in the little, called a little food cafe area. So we did that. I couldn't sit, and I remember somebody gave her some Tylenol for me. Took that, made it through the service, went and looked at a job. That's important. Sunday when you work for yourself, you gotta get it when you can. So went
Keep
look
the
at a
pipeline
job.
full, huh?
Yes, did that, and then went home, and I ended up having to lay on the floor. And my daughter was there, the oldest one. She's like, "Dad, you need to go to the hospital. Like, I never seen you like this."
Mm.
Priscilla, I remember at one point she came outside and was like, "What are you doing?" I was just standing in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't get comfortable. I want to do something. Just can't, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So we went shopping, grocery shopping. I rode with her. And we come back, and I just lay on the floor, hard floor. It was like the only thing that I could get comfortable. And I don't know, maybe 20 minutes into that, I think is when it ruptured.
Oh.
Appendix tumor, whatever it was,
Wow.
ruptured. I felt that. I was like, because I talked to my dad not long before. He's like, you need to go to the hospital. Like, if it gets any worse, I'll go. Well, it got worse.
Really?
My wife and my oldest daughter helped me off the ground, and to the hospital we went. And that was a Sunday around 5. Well, something happened there. I don't think they got all the information that they needed of how bad it was, because it was Monday at 5 before I went into surgery.
Wow.
I was septic. Found out that I had a big tumor that grew out of my appendix. They removed that. I woke up with a ostomy bag. Sewed me back up, and never crossed my mind, not one bit. And my wife had asked one of the doctors if, is it possible like cancer? Because they had told her they would send it off to pathology, some biopsies that they took. Oh, no, absolutely not. This is just standard. That was on a Monday, and we were told like 3 months of the ostomy. We take it out, hook everything back up, good to go. Friday, they come back. The doctor sits down, the surgeon. It's just me and my mom. Then wife was back at work. And that's when he broke it to us that it was stage 4, extremely rare appendix cancer.
Wow.
It never crossed our minds.
Yeah.
And stage 4, didn't know anything about cancer before then.
Yeah.
Stage 4 didn't seem like it was that good.
Yeah, right.
And I'm way too young for the cancer word. My dad had got diagnosed with prostate cancer a few months before that, and had his prostate removed like 2 weeks before. So he was still like scarred up. So that's 2 of us real quick.
What was that? Because, I guess the positive side is y'all weren't sitting on edge for 4 days, but then probably felt like you got just punched with a left hook out of nowhere at the doctor's office on the Friday then.
Sure. It's kind of, you don't know how to respond. You're in shock.
Yeah.
It's like some of the worst words you can ever hear,
Yeah.
And man, I don't remember the amount of lymph nodes that were cancerous or whatever, but it was a lot. And I just know, just from hearing people talk, when you get in your lymph nodes and whatnot, that it's not usually good.
Gotcha.
So that and the stage 4 thing was like, man, this ain't good.
Did you tell Prissy? Did you make the call, or did your mom?
She came.
Oh, okay.
And she'll tell you now she don't like how that all happened, because a lot of people were there before she had got there.
Okay.
And so
so she was just kind of on her way, but y'all had already got the news?
Yeah, I don't know, because, I'm in the hospital still.
Oh,
of course,
that's right.
A lot of medication and whatnot. And so I don't know if, we waited for her to get off of work, or if they asked her to come. I think we waited for her to get off the work.
Okay.
And then they told her, she came in, there was people, which there had been people there for days.
Mm-hmm.
You had came and brought me some
Yeah.
protein bars, a little
That's right.
gift bag.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
those were definitely healthy. You could taste the
Yeah.
healthiness in them. Took me
It's
a
a nice
while,
way
but
to put 'em.
I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
them down.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Said, look, my guy got some bad news. I ain't bringing him sugar. You know what I mean? I ain't
yeah,
feeding him.
no,
I gave you a hard time the whole time about
the
the
only
sugar.
one who brought me the good stuff, So yeah, they say sugar feeds off of it, and people bringing you pies and
That's right,
everything.
that's right.
Cancer feeds off of sugar. Yeah,
Yeah.
people flooding you with them. So it's kind of like the whole drinking thing.
That's right.
You can't get a break in
That's right.
Louisiana. So yeah, she came in and broke that news to her, and of course, all over again. And yeah, it's just terrible words to hear.
Yeah.
And I remember my brother coming in and being like, his sister, his wife, my sister-in-law was a doctor.
Okay.
And being, saying that I was gonna have to be on chemo the rest of my life, and me and the wife were kind of like, I rebuked that. That will not happen. So from there, then the oncologist, they give you an oncologist, and he comes in and kind of, starts working up plans and tell you what you got to do and this and that. And it's a lot of stuff.
Wow. Can't imagine.
Surgery itself was a lot. And then you get hit 4 days later when you think you're in the recovery process with the cancer. So, all right, that was like 9 days in the hospital there, 9 or 10. We go home. 3 days later, it starts leaking. So it's, how was that wound? It was stitched up. Yeah. And some pus starts like coming out, like white, thick white stuff.
Okay.
I felt it at night. My mom was sleeping with me in the living room. The wife was upstairs, and I felt. And so, turn a light on, you see this white pus coming out.
Yeah.
It got infected again. Back to surgery like a couple of days later, because at first they just told us try to like get it out.
Okay.
We won't go into all of that stuff, but we ended up back in the hospital, another surgery. Cut me back open. I had over 2 liters of infection that they pumped out.
Wow.
Skip this part. After the initial surgery, I had hiccups.
I remember that
constantly. And the hiccups, are normal a little bit because of the gases that they bloat you up with so they can do their work. But these were like insane hiccups that were constant. And then after about, I don't know, at that point, maybe 9 or 10 days of them.
Yeah. Oof.
Not sleeping and the infection. So the first surgery was like straight pain, worst pain I've ever felt. By the time I went into this surgery with the infection, the hiccups, not sleeping, that whole thing, it was almost like I was just dead. Like I wasn't in pain. I was just like, I'll see videos now. Because my wife, she had several. She was trying to video to show the doctors, like, this is like, it got to where I couldn't breathe. Like when you go in on that hiccup, it would just hold and I would, and just go and then it's like you were drowning.
Wow.
And then, it would let out and I could breathe. And it was bad. But once they got the infection out, that went away.
Wow.
It was pushing on my diaphragm or something.
Gotcha. So what are y'all like as y'all going through this? Because, I mean, I remember that was a very intense, obviously, few weeks, What are, like, your mindset, were you like, God, I just want to quit, or were you like, no, God's going to heal me, or a little bit of everything? I mean.
It was definitely a little bit of everything at that time. The shop that I have now was getting poured.
Yep.
And building that shop, and we just bought all this land, and I got diagnosed with cancer. I'm like, why do we even have this? Like, I wish we didn't have it because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to lose my business. Like, who's going to run my business? I was there every day.
Yeah.
I had two brothers that were working with me, but I was there all the time,
Mhm.
guiding them um, they were great workers, but they were under my guidance most of the time.
Mhm.
So I basically thought United Fencing was done, and I don't know what we're gonna do with that shop and that property.
Mhm.
Because people were telling me I wasn't gonna be able to work. All these things and how long it was gonna be. I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, so all of those thoughts, they were terrible
Yeah.
thoughts going through my mind. At the
Mhm.
same time, we knew what God did through my addiction.
Yeah.
My wife's a worship leader, so I can still, if I think about it now, I'm going in and out for these couple weeks because the hiccups were just killing me.
Yeah.
Um, and they gave me every medicine. They were bringing back medicines that they don't use anymore.
Wow.
So to try to stop the hiccups, they're not usually used for that, but they can.
Yeah.
And so once we got to that, I would just be like hallucinating sometimes.
Mm.
Um, so like for those couple weeks, I was
Yeah.
in and out and memory foggy, but I can remember my wife hearing her sing and worship in that room,
Wow.
just pacing back and forth,
Mhm.
praying over me, worshiping. And she was, um, scared, just as
Mhm.
scared as I was. But, that's where we go to,
Yeah. Yeah.
having that faith. And man, if we didn't have God to
Yeah.
go to in those times, like what else you got?
Right.
You know,
Wow.
I mean, we got each other, but we're not enough.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, he definitely, especially going through my addiction and knowing what he already
Yeah.
did. Like, why would he pull me out of all that and then I die?
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's possible. We can
Yeah.
die whenever of anything, but I feel like there's a greater purpose. I should
Yeah.
have been dead. I don't know how many times through my addiction.
Yeah. Yeah. And so y'all go through that tough season. I mean, I guess through it all is what, about a year of almost a
Yeah.
year?
So 12 rounds of chemo.
Okay.
Um, they were every other week. That
Yeah.
was 6 months.
Yeah.
Um, and if we did the chemo, and then this big mega high pec surgery that was a couple months after the chemo,
Yeah.
where this time we went to New Orleans, and they cut me open, and they call it the mother of all surgeries.
Hmm.
And I think the reason they call it that is because they're putting this big dose of chemo inside of you. Plus, you're getting stuff surgically removed, so you're getting like two in one.
Okay.
And this surgery took them 9 hours.
Wow.
Um, another like 10 days,
Yeah.
recovering from that. Got sent home, back again.
Yeah.
Some stitching was pulling out on the inside.
Mm.
Back again. That time I woke up with that open wound vac deal.
Yeah.
That was different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I had that whole process of healing from that. One particular night I wanted to share from the first one, during all the hiccups and whatnot. My wife was with me downstairs. My mom was upstairs. So we had a 6-year-old at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids, the older ones, were great through this.
Mm.
From when I first got this emptying this bag to just being there for me to love on.
Yeah.
And I tried not to take them out of their routines as much.
Yeah.
But man, when they would come in from school, because we had one driver at that
Mm.
point, Angel, and her and Noah and Micah would come after school. That put a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just to see them and have them there.
Yeah.
But one particular night, I was hiccuping bad,
Mm.
and I remember calling out to God, I just make it stop. I can't do it anymore. And my wife, of course, freaked out whenever something happens. If, say I was in good health or whatever, and, my daughter, something would happen, she would get hurt, but she's going to run to me. She's not going to figure it out. She's leave you there for a second. I'm going to get you some help because she's more in freak out mode. So she hollers to my mom when she hears me holler. And it was like a pleading, begging God to take it away. And
so it was like a loud vocal.
Yeah. I was trying to sleep and I just couldn't. And I was hiccuping and I loudly screamed, cried out to God, make it stop. And it stopped the rest of that night. And it came back later. But whenever I cried out immediately, that was it. And that one's hard. And she'll tell you now, like that was the worst time throughout that process, for her. Yeah. Just hearing me do that,
just seeing
somebody you love, especially, I guess,
big, strong, tough man
exactly,
like that.
How our kids and our wives,
that's right.
From the way I grew up, my dad was Superman.
Yeah, that's right.
And, when you see that.
Yeah.
But, he made it stop.
Man, what a blessing.
Yeah.
What a blessing. And so now you sitting here with a clean report.
Yes. So after my last surgery, went in 3 months later and did and so they gave me 2 to 3 years to live.
Wow.
And we did the surgery, lots of prayer going into it. And when they went in there and did it, what the doctor told my wife and my parents was he's going to live a long time after the surgery.
What a blessing.
What he saw in there, it's bad, but not as bad as what he had thought.
Yeah.
And
sitting here is a miracle, right in front of me.
Yes, he told us 2 different times because they have to. So you do your blood work. There's certain things they look for, and they do the CAT scans. Certain things they look for, like they can see the little tumors. There was 5 tumors the second time that he removed. The one big one, but there was 5 smaller ones. And then like the omentum they took out. I don't even know. It's some kind of fatty layer.
You don't ask me, my friend. I have no clue.
I got to keep most of my other organs and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So
that's good.
They took out a bunch more of the colon.
Okay.
And that's still debatable what we're going to do with this bag, but whatever keeps me here the longest. That's the route we'll go with that. But he had said that it's always worse when they go in than what they see on the scans. So what they'll do is a laparoscopic, just like they have to score you before you have the surgery to make sure that like when they go in there, they're not going to have to do so much stuff that it's going to be worse on your body.
Okay.
So they go in, look like a couple weeks before the surgery, see what it all looks like with a scope. And but he had told me that it's always worse than what they see on the CAT scans. Always. He said that twice. It was not a thing different than what they already saw.
Okay. Wow.
And then after the surgery is when he told them that he's going to live a long
What a
time.
blessing.
So, and cancer free as of the first 3-month checkup. And we got another one coming in November.
Praise God.
And that one's going to be cancer free.
That's right. It sure will, man.
That's
awesome. I love it.
No need to even go.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, so feeling great, man.
That's good. You were a workhorse, no doubt, through this process. I mean, obviously had a lot of people praying for you and we were loving on you, but we're always continually impressed with your, your just steadfastness. You know what I mean? Like, hey, putting encouraging posts on Facebook, encouraging other people.
My daughter said she told me this, it might have been a year ago. You're a Facebook dad.
There you go.
Man, you know how many people come up to me and because I'm just real. You know? I tell you the good and the bad.
That's right.
And it's just like we're doing here. It's just my testimony. I did it with my addiction. I'm not ashamed of anything I did. Not that I think that it was good, but I mean, that's what I did. That's in the past.
Yep.
God changed my life and is continually changing because I'm not near where I want to be. Yeah. But we're heading there.
That's it.
So I just.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what, dude, as throughout the whole time, we were like, man, Chad just encouraging other people as part of his story, and seeing God move, on your physically healing you just always amazing thing. You know, Bethany and I would say when we were in Houston, we saw physical miracles. You know, we've seen legs grown out. We've seen some crazy stuff. But you, my friend, here, physical miracle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That we got to watch God move through and move upon. And I mean, I'm just glad to know you and be able to have these conversations with you.
Right.
It's awesome.
And it's crazy how people ask, like, how did you and your wife get through? And you always seem so good, like mentally. We had our moments, but like it's neither of us had a bad moment at the same time.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, we had our breakdowns. When I was doing the chemo, there was 12 rounds, and so I would do it on a Tuesday. No, yeah, Tuesday, and I would have it pumping in me for 3 days, like 2.5 days, and then I would get it off. And by that Friday is when I felt the worst. I guess it was fully in there, and I worked every day. Like I never not went to work. There was a couple times where I couldn't go anymore and had to go home. I even took a nap in my truck one time. I couldn't drive any further. But that Friday or Saturday, almost every chemo week, I would just break down at home by the time that evening would come. Just like, people ask you what it's like what's the chemo like? It's like every sickness that you can imagine, all in one.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's not like painful, but it's like the whole mental state is just different. It's not one that you want to experience, and not one I can tell you exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
But it would break me down, and I would cry for about 10 minutes, and then I would push on. You know? But anytime the wife broke down, I was there. Some kind of way I was in good spirits at that time, so I would lift her up. So we had our breakdowns, but the Lord left one of us there in good
The
state
grace of God, man.
to bring the other one,
Wow.
tell him it's going to be all right. Tell him what all God has done for us already.
Yeah.
And what he's going to do.
Wow.
And, this whole house plan thing that we started last week, like, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And my guys, they ran the business while I was gone like it didn't miss a lick.
Wow.
I thought my whole business that I worked for was done.
Wow.
And it's better than ever, and we're about to build our first house.
What a blessing.
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing. I mean, 2 amazing testimonies. The life that you've lived and are living is literally a living testimony to the goodness of God.
Yeah.
I mean, the redemption just is amazing to see. I love it. I appreciate you being willing to come on here. I know it's not your favorite thing to go out and
it's not
you're
my
not
thing.
not scared of it, but
never had a microphone like this.
That's right. That's
But,
right. But so I'm gonna go ahead and move us into the ABCs of the elevation room. If you could share advice you would give to your younger self, knowing what you've been through, the journey you've been on, what would you share?
So this may be a little different from previous interviewees, but I've thought about this before, I guess, and it's like, man, I wouldn't say I would change anything because then I wouldn't be sitting right here right now.
Right.
I would be that regular kid or adult now, but still drinking, still going to church kind of whenever it fit my schedule, living on good works, which is not bad, but that's
not the whole story.
That's not the whole story. So, man, say no to drugs. But I think that's how I'm here,
Right.
and that's how my relationship has grown. Because a lot of the people that have the best relationships with Christ that I know, they've been through the ringer.
Yeah.
And I've said this to people before, and some look at me crazy, and some are like, "Oh, I could see that."
Yeah.
And I don't mean this like it's gonna sound. Maybe I do. I don't know, but it sounds rough. But like, I feel like everybody should lose everything at some point.
Yeah. I
You
hear
know,
you.
like mine was through addiction. I lost everything I had then. But it helps you to realize how short this life is, how the material things aren't important. It helps you realize what is important. Um, Not that I want everybody to,
No,
actually
yeah,
lose
yeah.
everything they got, but it just builds that mental state.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was saying, like these drug addicts who are doing well now, who lost everything, or just, don't have to be drugs. It could be numerous. It could be from like my second testimony with the cancer, almost dying. It just
Right.
makes you realize things that you wouldn't have if you were just living a perfectly
Right.
normal life.
Mm-hmm.
So man, I don't know what I would say, because there's things that I would do different,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm doing and trying to do now.
Yeah.
For one is, well, I don't like reading. I'm just, not that I don't like it. I'm not good. I don't retain stuff.
Mm.
Um,
Your best method of learning is doing.
Doing.
Yeah.
I'm a doer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to be a doer of the word as
There you
much
go.
as possible.
There you go. Not just a hearer of the word.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm not one of those people that go around like preaching.
Yeah.
I'll testify for what he's done for me all day long.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you got to kind of open me up.
Mm-hmm.
I got to know that you're ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Big, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But God's placed a mighty story inside of you. So,
Yeah.
I know that He's going to continue to bring opportunities for you to share your story, and
Yes,
what He's done for you.
I'm a one-on-one storytelling.
Well, that's the whole
testifying
setup for this
guy.
podcast,
So
man.
That's good.
I'm
It's
the
got a
same
couple
way, bro.
extra gadgets in
That's
here that
right.
I'm not used to, but
That's right.
yeah, I mean, I had a counselor telling me, like, I'm the only one with this testimony.
That's right.
So if you got nothing else to give people, he said, you got your testimony.
That's right.
Because I was telling him that, I'm not this Bible scholar.
Mm-hmm.
I know scripture. I
Mhm.
can't tell you the exact address of everything,
Right.
but I might not be able to tell you somebody else's address, but I can get over there.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got enough of the word in me,
Yeah.
and we're working on getting more
That's a
in
lifelong journey.
in other ways. Yeah. Not everybody. We need everybody or different people in all the fields.
That's right. That's right.
So
Different body parts, one body.
we dress a little
Yeah,
different right
it's
now.
a little bit different for than my normal over here.
Yeah,
Too.
so I don't think I own anything like that. So mine's, I get people out in the workforce,
That's it, dude.
tatted up,
That's it.
just living a different life, but I can minister to them.
Yep. If
You
we were
know.
all trying to be fingers or toes, be a weird looking body. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. So we
That's
got
it.
people in all different walks of life, and everybody needs somebody to be able
Yeah.
to minister to them. They
Yeah.
receive from different people. So
Absolutely. I know you said
Yeah.
you're not much of a reader, but B is the books that have made the greatest impact. I know you shared there's one.
yeah.
There's one.
Yeah. So I'll try to give you the brief story. When I was in Teen Challenge, you got to decide if you want to do the intern, or if you want to. So you stay into an intern, or you can go and get affiliated with a church. Now that it has to get approved and stuff by
Okay.
the Teen Challenge, and then 6 months, somebody at the church kind of has to supervise. But
Okay.
that can be considered your intern. I was like, man, I'm ready to get out of here, but I'm scared. It's already been through the other rehab and went straight out. So I went on my 4-day pass after 9 weeks. So, which is not long after my last encounter at the altar where I left it all. And so my mindset was changing at that point. So I was struggling with what I wanted to do, because I had a daughter I wanted to get back to. So I go to my mom's on that 4-day pass. Go to bed that night, and I look in my old nightstand. There's a book right there on top of everything. Faith over fear. Looked at it. It was from Angola, like a library. It had the stamp on it. I asked my mom, where'd that come from? I don't know. Nobody knows where the book came from, and it was just like placed directly on top of everything in there.
Yeah.
I picked it up and started thumbing through it a little bit, and it basically helped me to decide to, all right, I need to stay because I need to finish getting myself right, and I was worried about going back home and financially providing for my little girl, and I was struggling with the thought of not doing that if I stayed.
Yeah.
And so the whole faith thing there told me that, she's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Kind of have faith that, God's going to take care of her. She's going to be all right, but you still got to focus on you. But just reading through that book, I read through that big book. That was the quickest I've ever read a book. And I've only read like less than this many books. So that book right there definitely has the biggest, because I don't know that if I may have not been ready to go back home. So if I wouldn't have saw that book that nobody knows how it got there, placed directly on top of everything else, and I actually read it.
I was about to say, and the fact that you actually read
it, and it helped me. So, after I read that book, within a few days, I made my decision to stay, mostly because of things I read in that book.
That's awesome.
And it paid off.
Cool, man. I love hearing that. The last one is C, cherished family traditions.
We don't have a whole bunch with my kids and stuff right now. And even with my parents growing up, man, family tradition was work. Like we were raised to work. That's one thing we're about is our business and work, and for sure. But my mom's side, when I was younger, every Tuesday we would, my grandma would cook, and all the family's cousins, even friends, would come over.
Nice.
For years, and that's one thing I told Priscilla that we're going to do.
I love that.
And that's with my mom and dad and my brothers and sisters. Like, I love when we can all get together, and I'm not sure. Not just them, but everybody knows how valuable that time is.
Yeah.
When they tell you 2 to 3 years and you're only 40, you start thinking about how you need to spend your time.
Wow.
So that just something that we do that brings my family back together more than just on holidays it was incredible on Tuesdays. Everybody knew what we were doing.
Staying in
Tuesday
appointment
night, and there was no like, well, this one. Not everybody was there all the time, but like that's what we did. That was on the plans.
Yeah.
Mark it down. Tuesday nights, grandma was cooking. We all going.
I love that.
And so that was great, and that's something
cool.
We might have to order.
Yeah, there you go. I look forward to getting an invite at least once.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing your stories with us, man. Sharing a bit of your life story, and there's a lot of depth there, a lot of richness that I know people will appreciate hearing. So, if people want to reach out to you and connect, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
And I'll just tell you my number: 225-202-7833. People call me all the time, with Facebook, whatever. But people call me for their loved ones. Usually, is what it is, for addiction.
Gotcha.
And unfortunately, you can't do it for them. But I do get lots of calls. So anybody out there struggling with that, I can't fix you. Only you can fix you, but I can give you some steps and some tools.
Yeah.
And
point you in a direction, huh?
Yeah. If somebody's, if you're battling, something like I did with the cancer, that mentally, that can get you in a bad place. Same thing with this bag. I have some terrible moments with the work I do. It doesn't always stay like it needs to. Sometimes a bag might last half a day, sometimes a few days, but it can be sloppy.
Yeah.
And mentally that can, it just does some things frustrating.
Yeah.
But I know people who have battled with that, and they just become like shut off to the world. So anything like that, man, if I can help anybody get them any positive vibes and just tell you how I get through it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do it for you, but I can tell you what works for me, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, that's mighty generous of
And
you.
that's just keep going.
Amen.
Keep doing what you did before this as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And keeps me from thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I work all the time.
There you go, dude. There you go. Well, I appreciate you
Yeah,
sharing your
thanks,
story, man. And I've enjoyed our time together. Absolutely.
Same.
And so for all of y'all who are still watching, still listening, appreciate y'all being on this journey with us. Remember, no matter what you're going through, to continue walking forward, rooted in your purpose, living on purpose, and walking with purpose. Till next time.